Have you ever felt that heavy, almost suffocating silence that comes right before a tragedy? That's what happened in the heart of the Marineford War in One Piece. There was a moment like that, an interval between the deafening roar of battle and the deadly silence that announced the loss of one of the story's most unforgettable characters, Portgas, Doasi. But before diving into this devastating instant, let's step back. Marineford wasn't just any war. It was a stage of destiny, where every pirate, every marine, and every viewer knew something monumental was about to happen. Whitebeard, weakened but still imposing, led his fleet to rescue Ace, the adoptive son, who carried not only the blood of Roger, the pirate king, but also the hopes of thousands who saw him as a symbol of freedom. Ace wasn't just Luffy's older brother. He was a flame that burned fiercely, yet always seemed threatened by the wind. From his childhood, marked by disdainful stares for being Roger's son, to his life as commander of Whitebeard's 2nd Division, Ace carried within him a struggle against fate, and Marineford was where that struggle reached its end. The battlefield was in flames, literally. Explosions, screams, blades clashing, powers tearing the sky apart. Luffy, exhausted and bleeding, kept running, doing everything to save his brother, and for a brief moment, it looked like the impossible had happened. The chains were broken, Ace was freed, and a spark of hope lit up the faces of their allies. But fate, cruel and ironic, doesn't allow long celebration. Akainu, the Admiral of Absolute Justice, entered the scene. With venomous words, he provoked Ace, attacking not only his honor, but also Whitebeard's memory. And Ace, even knowing the wisest choice was to flee, couldn't bear to hear insults toward the man he considered a father. His heart spoke louder than reason. He stopped. He fought. And that's when the silence began to take shape. The fatal blow was about to fall. Akainu's magma feast tore through Ace's improvised defense, and before Luffy's eyes pierced his life. But before the blood, before the fall, there was that moment, that heavy silence, almost poetic. The world froze. The screams stopped. It was as if even the sea held its breath. It was the silence before death. And it's in this kind of pause that One Piece shows its humanity. It wasn't just a pirate falling in battle. It was a brother protecting another, a friend defending his ideal, a son thanking an adoptive father. Ace's final words weren't filled with bitterness, but gratitude. He smiled, even through the pain, saying he was happy to have been loved. And that smile, in that silence, was like a knife cutting through every heart. Speaking of moments that change how we live day to day, let me pause here. Have you imagined having technology that, instead of silence, fills your home with music, information, and even images that follow your movement? Back to myth. Ace's death wasn't just the fall of a beloved character. It was the spark that transformed Luffy. In that field of blood and tears, the young Straw Hat realized he wasn't ready yet to protect those he loved. And that shock became a driving force behind the Tulir Chimi skip, where he and his crew grew stronger. The silence before Ace's death became an echo that rippled through the whole of One Piece's story. He didn't just disappear like dust in the wind, he became a legacy. Every tear shed at Marineford watered the determination of those who survived. Whitebeard roared his final truth, declaring the existence of the One Piece. Luffy rose again, scarred by grief, but with new purpose. And we, the viewers, understood that the silence wasn't an ending, but the prelude to something even greater. The scene still sends shivers today. It's not just the death of a character, but the reminder that even in chaos, There can be beauty in a final smile, strength in a last gesture, and eternity in one last silence. Ace died, but he didn't vanish. He lives on in the fans' memory, in Luffy's heart, and in every flame that refuses to die out in the world of One Piece. And so the question remains, was the silence before Ace's death just a tragic pause, or the foreshadowing that even in emptiness, hope can be born?